time it seems like being white is the hardest thing to be. Can't even be in the sun.
Didn't have anything just for your face?
What kind of fucked up evolutionary trait is that? The sun?
I don't know what SPF it is.
How are there so many of them? How they lasted this long? On top.
What the fuck, man? Fuck your face, dude. No, fuck my face.
Let's go.
Yo, man, that to me, in my opinion, is the funniest series on Netflix right now. It's called Black as Fuck or Black AF for the parental guidance. Created, EP'd, and starred by one of the most profound writers in the game. Like,
Absolutely.
when I name these shows from Blackish to Grownish to Mixedish to The Game, like how many of us, he was a writer on The Game and Soul
Crazy.
Food, even America's Next Top Model with Tyra Banks, but even as important, won an NAACP Image Award for Blackish for Best Comedy Series. He donated $1 million to Clark University, which he is an alumni of, and was granted an honorary doctorate in humane letters. This guy is one of my heroes because
That's a
he's been able to say through his art shit that I've thought as a kid that just outlandish that you can't say, and I think his work is so provocative. You know, I remember when Jada Pinkett Smith created helped push the hashtag Hollywood So White. Well, he's the antithesis of that. He's on the other side of that spectrum. The one and only Barris is here, ladies and gentlemen. KB!
Yo, what up? Thanks for having me, guys.
What's wrong with you, man? Kenya, what's wrong with you, man? Let's talk about society, man. What do you, as a black man, how do you think society, how has society and American society affected your psyche?
I mean, I think it's affected mine the same way it's affected all of ours. It's crazy because I was talking to somebody about just the idea that, Barack as a president, and, how groundbreaking it was. It's really groundbreaking when you think we've been free so much less time than we were enslaved. Mm-hmm. And I feel like people, it's 400 plus years we were enslaved. You take that, and they say it takes like 2 or 3 generations for things to kind of, before you start normalizing things, right? We were enslaved for almost 40 generations. And however we're acting, whatever we do as a culture, I feel like you gotta think back. We have a lot that they have, people have to give us time to have made up for. And so I think that's why, in the show, all the titles of the joke, it's because of slavery. I think that so much of what we do is an effect of generational enslavement and generational trauma. So I think we're just doing the best we can.
Doing the best we can
every day.
I have a friend who was of Caucasian descent, and he couldn't wrap his head around of why is it okay for this man's character, as he playing himself, actually, it's an offshoot of your own life with Black as Fuck, correct? Why is he able to say, I hate white people and get away with it, and if I was to say, I hate black people, I would get slammed? How would you respond to that?
I mean, it's top dog underdogs. First of all, it's like you can't have you can have a million man march, right? Because we're watching, but you can't have a million beautiful people march. You know what I'm saying? If you're beautiful or a million rich people, like when you're at the bottom, you get to say stuff that the top can't say. Mm-hmm. And we've been at the bottom long enough that I'm saying, like, I know white people that say I can't stand white people. So I feel like for me, it was less of a direct quote to white people and more to like the sort of mainstream society. I hate, what I'm saying? It's more of a shot to the system. And to be fair, if I did hate white people, I mean, I've got some reasons, but I don't. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like, it was less of a direct thing to white people. A lot of my friends were white, a lot of my friends were white, and it wasn't anything toward them. But it was saying, like, it was saying he hates the idea of what society is. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of, what white people are mainstream society, and that was really more of what it was saying.
this series, if Kenya Barris is on the line, and he has the series, he started a series Black as Fuck, is loosely really based around your life and the idea of just going up that social status ladder and having all this new money and all these new opportunities. And we've all experienced that. Like, shit, my life don't look like it did in 1990 when I first got on radio, and I'm being exposed to, you know what I mean? Like, people allow me to hear certain conversations I would have never been able to hear. I've seen shit happen, man. I'll share this quick story with you. I remember when I first started working with MTV. It's been 20 years now, and
oh wow,
yeah, and I was threatened by a group of individuals. My life was threatened because of a story I reported. Now, the story was all fact. It was just a news story, but they were in it. And me reporting it, they took it more personal than they would if, a Dan Rather would have reported it. And they sought me out. They found me at a restaurant and threatened my life. Now, I'm from Oakland. I was like, well, shit, I'm talking shit back. I'm from the, you already know. Your soon-to-be son-in-law. So, anyway, that was a joke.
You know what? Can you please don't? Sway is hump
No,
day.
Jalen Hawkins went to Berkeley. That's all I'm saying.
I love Jalen. Yeah,
he's a good dude. But long story short, so when I went back to the company, I said, look, I'm gonna be forced to defend myself. I just want to let you know I might be a liability, so it might behoove you to let me go. Man, when I tell you, they showed me something I never saw. A guy went and got the head of security. The head of security in 15 minutes got the head of a precinct. The head of a precinct came into that building, showed me a book of people, actually had the person that threatened me. I wouldn't identify it. They offered me that person's address. All sorts of power swings were happening around me that I didn't even know existed. You had to adjust in Hollywood because of your success, correct?
Absolutely, man. You got to have, less friends over, less less stops, less things like that. But it is. I definitely have learned the white man's way, though. That they will get you on paper real quick and learn like you. That is the thing that you have to learn how to use the system in the right way. Especially when you're black. When you're it's so few of us that when you're black and it's one of the reasons where in the show we talked about it, like whether you like Tyler Perry stuff or not, you know what I'm saying? I can tell you for a fact that my mom and my aunt, they would. I remember coming in, they were watching those Tyler Perry plays on tape, on VHS tapes in the kitchen, and I had no idea who he was, but they legitimately 100%. My family enjoy his movies, like not because he's black, they enjoy it, and so if someone doesn't, that doesn't take away all of the fact that there's a lot of people who do.
Yeah.
But I feel like with us, we don't get the opportunity. Adam Sandler, who I love, but Adam Sandler can make movies that people don't feel maybe are just high art. You know what I'm saying? But people enjoy his movies. That's why he keeps getting to make them. But when he makes a movie and people don't, think it might be trash or whatever, he's not destroying white culture. But if Tyler Perry makes a movie and people feel like it's not high art, all of a sudden he's the destruction of black culture, and I feel like that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? There's so few of us that each of us, when we get an opportunity, like you said, you got an opportunity to say something on the news, and it was perceived differently than if Dan Rather done it. With so few of us, the way we sort of sometimes attack one another, not even trying to understand it, we are doing it because we don't know how to separate the fact that, this person is just telling his story, this person is just doing his job. You are doing the job for all of us. You're telling the story for all of us. And so that's the hard part sometimes.
That's the hard part. You guys have put together a great ensemble, of actors for Black as Fuck. And it's interesting because the other thing we do put ourselves under this microscope, and we feel like black is a lot of times, not everybody, let me not do a broad sweep, but a lot of us think black should be represented one way or a certain way that we're all in the same zeitgeist of how that should be. And I'm sure that you guys have, as well as the praise and acclaim you've gotten, you probably got criticism that, well, this person isn't black enough or that person isn't black enough. I've actually
What does that mean, though?
I don't know. I just
That's
didn't.
the question.
That's the question. And how do you respond to that, or do you?
I mean, publicly, I feel like you learn, as you guys know, after a second, saying anything just gives oxygen to the fire.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This one was harder for me than most, because some of the shit that was talked about was, those are my kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, those kids look like my kids that look like me, that I love. That looks like, my kid's wife. That looks like, so the idea of what somebody is, whether they, based upon their complexion or this. Yeah, there were moments that it really affected me, especially since I was doing a show based on my family.
Yeah.
I feel like but you learn to not necessarily give it oxygen. This one has been hard because it's so polarizing. You know what I'm saying? It really has started a conversation, which is really what we want to do, but it has been some direct sort of attacks on, my family. But I feel like everybody has their experiences, and those experiences are real for them, and we go through a lot of trauma. And I think if I have to take the hits in order to have those conversations started, we should have been having already. I think it's okay, as long as it doesn't get to the point where somebody actually puts hands on me. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's all just words, and you kind of just roll with it.
They don't know you from Inglewood, dog?
It can get real very quick.
Come on, man.
But Kenya, to that point, have you thought about, having extra security or making sure that, I don't know, you have whatever type of cyber security situations? Like, have you thought about just having that extra insurance?
I started having that for Blackish, because it was, like literally whenever that's the thing. I'm really been happy that I get a chance to say, to do shows that actually are talking about stuff. But once you start talking about things, you'd be surprised at like the number of letters and threats, and then, being from the city that you're actually in, people that you knew feel like they can touch and get to you quicker. So I started having security years ago.
Gotcha.
Kenya Barris is here. Black as Fuck is available on Netflix. I'm waiting for this book that you're gonna be writing, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
Yeah. I'm super excited about it.
We had Lawrence. You brought up Blackish, and Anthony Anderson is a good friend of ours. Everybody on the cast everybody on the cast of Blackish has been on the show, man. What a amazing cast. And Lawrence Fishburne came up recently. Fish, baby. And we asked him about working on Blackish. How do you even get? It's just so many talented people on there. How do you even get through a scene? And this is what he talked about, his experience.
Working with Anthony and Tracy and Jennifer, there's a lot of laughter. I mean, there's many times at the end of a take, because, Tracy and Anthony are constantly coming up with stuff and riffing on the writing and stuff. And, damn near every day that we work together, there's lots of times when we're just cracking each other up.
Is that how it is for you, too? Are you on the set all the time?
Oh man, that set was incredible, man. Like, that Lawrence, first of all, it's fucking Lawrence. And seeing him do comedy, I realized the first day of shooting, I had never actually seen Lawrence act in person. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know how I was going to play the character, and I was, only going to be on the set. And I called him that night, like, hey, Fish, just wondering if you were, had any idea. He was like, he literally called me. He was like, I don't know, man. I'll figure it out when I get there. And I was like, and you knew, like, I better let this go. And he came, and Pops came out of him. And it never stopped. And he, obviously killed the comedy like he killed everything else. So it was, and Tracy and Anthony and those kids and Marseille and Marcus and Yara and Miles, like they just literally, and then you add Jennifer in there. It is a murderer's row of people. I get a chance, I'll give a little something I won't tell you, but we're going to get a chance to do one more ish show, and I feel like it's arguably that show has changed my life, and to be able to do one more version of that with those people that I love is it's the greatest feeling in the world.
Oh man, and those kids are like Heather. All those kids have been on the show. I don't think Marseille has been on the show, but Miles, all of them.
No, we haven't had Marseille yet.
Yara and her family are amazing. Miles, his family are amazing. You guys bring something. Your script, your creativity is bringing something out of them. I love that my daughter could look at these characters and have somebody that she could identify with. That's different than a 2 or 3 dimensions that we had to deal with growing up. You know,
I love it. I love it. That was the whole point of doing, going from Blackish to BlackAF. Is like, I think this is all about sort of like being able to say, I got a chance to do something that can open some doors for people, and make sure that we have as much representation as we can. And I say this, for us, whether you like the show or don't like the show, I think that it's important that we talk about it and have real critical conversations. I think the thing that we have to sort of make sure we don't do, because we're not there yet, is tear each other down.
Yeah.
I think that you cannot like something and not, destroy it, because ultimately you want Black as Fuck to work. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't like the show. Because what that does is when your time gets up to tell your show that you're going to do it in an interesting, better way than this show is, there's a something in place that people have said, oh, black shows work here. So we want the opportunities to work, because each opportunity that works opens up another opportunity for someone else and gives me, honestly, another chance to sort of say, let me try to do a different kind of show or put someone else on to do this. And that's how we sort of keep building the community.
Yeah, Kenya, real quick, Heather, I want to jump in. 2 things. First and foremost, I'm always in touch with Principal Akbar Cook. I told him to call in today if he can, to just say, I know, to say what's up to you, because I was telling him you was going to be on the show. But if that's first, yeah, and then secondly, if you can speak a little bit, I know it's you got to give a shorter version, but in terms of process, like Sway, we all seen your name on early shows very early on, but then when you were able to pop up EP, right, do all of this stuff, how did you stay faithful, and how did you stay, just promised during the process of it all? Because it could be grueling, getting turned down, submitting different things, pilots how did you stay, on it during the whole process?
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about faith of my life. I'm like, hold on. No.
No, I'm talking about your faith in the game. No. I can't stand you. Can you?
There's been some issues, guys. I think, honestly, the real way that you stay focused is I got a crew early on. I have my family. I have my wife. I think that they really always sort of, that's a great thing about kids. They don't care if you won an Oscar or just totaled out your car. When you walk through the door of your dad, and they're going to treat you the exact same way, so they kept me grounded. But I definitely feel like the biggest way is, and I tell everybody this, I saw Will Smith, say this one time. I found a crew, and I stayed with my crew basically my whole career. And Will Smith said, they asked him, what's the secret of your success? And he said, partnership. And I think that is the real thing. You find your crew, make sure that they eat, and sometimes eat better than you, but make sure everybody stays grounded, and that's the people, at least that core, you keep that core around you, because that's the same people I try to work with show after show, because they know your voice, they'll keep you sort of in the fight. You feel like if you lose, you're not losing by yourself, and you feel like if you win, you're not winning by yourself, and I think that's really important.
Wow, this is dope. Man, dope. Yeah, man, we got Kenya Barris is here. Man, can you stay on a little longer? I'm going to open up the phone lines. 888-742-3345. And I want to continue this conversation, because one of the things I don't know if people realize was how, Girls Trip, Little, these films that you've been a part of that put African American women in lead roles, how important, especially with Little, with the young Marseille, how important that is, but how hard it is to get those kind of movies greenlit. Right. Unless you put yourself in this kind of position. Can you talk to that in terms of Hollywood's, the machine's acceptance now? Has it changed? Is it different now for roles that are having African American leads?
I do think it's different. I think that the thing that I'm seeing is that there's still not enough opportunities for us, but I am seeing that it's different. I am seeing that, especially if you look at early 90s, we got one at a time. We got one shot at it. I feel like there is more opportunity because people are actually seeing that we can actually open a box office, and you see what Coogler does with his superhero, that sort of big franchise, and you're seeing what Barry Jenkins does on the independent side and, things like that. But I feel like the thing that I definitely am seeing now more of is that we have the Wills and the Martins can open on Bad Boys. We have the Eddies can do Coming to America. We have, but we have to raise up that next generation. That's the one. I don't know what that next generation of young stars looks like. I don't quite know where the next generation of young, 18 to 24-year-old people you can put them on a poster and they can open up a movie. That's the part that I think we need to do more work internally in terms of creators and writers and directors and things like that. We have to do more work internally to get that next generation launched.
It only makes sense with the cultural vanguards right now.
Yes, seriously.
It really, everything is centered around what it is we're doing. Man, Kenya Barris is on the line. We got the one and only Principal Cook is on the line, ladies and gentlemen.
Cook made it through. Cook.
He made it through. Cook. Cook.
Good morning, y'all. I couldn't miss out on my family. And you got my man Kenyan on here, man. I just wanted to show love. Big boy. You're doing it big out there, man. I just wanted the people to know, like, you got so much stuff going on in your brain. What's next for you? What are you thinking about coming up next?
We got to get our project going. We got to tell that story. I think that's the thing I'm really trying to do is tell different stories and things that people, in a way that people haven't necessarily seen them before. I just want to do things differently than I've done before and try to give different opportunities. I don't know what the exact next thing is, but there's some stuff I want to do. I think directing and writing is part of it.
Principal Cook, how do y'all know each other? Y'all sound like y'all used to play ball or something.
I don't know what Kenyan would have said. We have a mutual friend. One of my best friends in the world is Hal Rothstein. He works with Kenya on everything, and then we met through Hal, and it's been love ever since. So I don't know if Kenya want to add on.
Ock's story is incredible. You know what I'm saying? It was we sold a movie to Fox. They got unfortunately put in development hell, but it's one of the best stories and most inspiring, and that's why all the success that you've gotten and all the acclaim, and I hope you continue to get more. Like Ock's just a real one, and at a school that people had kind of left behind, he showed how much one person who cares can make a difference, and that stuck out to me.
All right, that's what's up, man. Hey, Ock, man, I got a bunch of jackets and clothes. I got boxes at my house, so we got to figure that out when this is done, okay?
You got it. Maybe can you give me some of them sweatsuits too, can you?
You got it. You got to stretch them out a little bit, but you can have them.
Oh, yeah. All right. Take care, Principal Cook. All right.
For real.
All right. Jay from Atlanta is on the line. Say hello to Kenya. Jay, good morning.
Hey, Jay.
Hey, what's up? Kenya, man, I just want to say keep doing what you're doing. I really, really appreciate your show. All of them. We watch all the issues in my household. But what I wanted to let you know is, like, I swear, sometimes we be like, does dude have, like, a secret camera in our house? Because everything you guys cover is, like, shit that goes on in our household. So I just say I really appreciate you, man.
Oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate that. That's one of the things I love here the most. And it really does show how much we're all kind of, just another version of each other. Because the things we think are secret, are happening in so many other people's houses. And that's why if you're honest with your stories, a lot of times it connects with people in ways, that you wouldn't expect.
Yeah, that's real. Jay, thank you, man. You're a citizen. I connect with you too, just as a black man growing up in America. Like the things that you say are things that I know a lot of people who grew up with me. It's like, oh shit, he's saying what we were thinking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh damn, but he's saying it out loud. You know what I mean?
That's not always a good thing, but yeah, I think that's that's the people that I love that are my heroes. They were people who honestly weren't afraid to kind of say things and put themselves out there. And when you do it, and I think you don't do it from a place of malice, sometimes just getting those conversations started can change the direction of where we're going. And that's all I really want. I want to be funny, and I want to have people have conversations to make them think differently. That's the goal.
Absolutely. Teresa's on the line from California. Good morning, Teresa.
What's up, Teresa?
Hey.
Good morning.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I wanted to call. I just got off work, so I wanted to call before I go in the house and find out when are you doing season 2. I tried to pace myself and watch season 1, each episode super slow, but it didn't work. And I need to know when season 2 is coming out. It keeps me sane.
Hopefully soon. I'll say that. Hopefully soon.
Okay,
I had a lot of fun
Me and
doing
my
it.
husband enjoy it, and so like on my days that I'm not working, I'm like at the TV talking about we're gonna watch this episode over again. I think he's like kind of fed up. He's like, you know what? I'm done.
Where do you work at?
I work at the hospital. I work at UC.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that. Well, all our prayers and thanks to you just for, getting and doing your job. Thank you so much.
For sure.
Thank you, Teresa.
Thank you.
All right. And
yes,
send your love to the family for us.
I'll be waiting. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. And I'll be waiting on that. We appreciate it.
Damn,
okay. I appreciate you.
I'm sorry.
She's hungry for it, Kenya. Damn. She's like, tell me now. God, I need a release date.
No, seriously. I'm not really a Netflix person. And so I happen to just be, I look at some stuff, documentaries and stuff like that. But as far as like the shows and stuff that are on there, I don't look at it. And I came across that one and I was like, oh my God, me and my husband and kids can relate. So I
love that.
really would love for season 2 to happen because I couldn't pay for it.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much, really.
Take care, Teresa. You're a citizen.
Thanks, Teresa.
Super citizen of Sway in the Morning. Thanks for your service.
Damn, she asked about season 2 like 5 times.
Have
you got?
Come on, Kenya.
Have you got the green light for season 2 yet, Kenya?
No, it's only been a week, but we feel like the show's doing well, and Netflix is super happy, and the numbers were really good. So, I think that I would love to come back, and that's the only show I will ever act in. So I'd love to come back and have some fun with Rashida and do another
She's
turn.
dope
turn
too.
at it.
She's incredible. She's dope. I don't think she get enough props, but Rashida's dope, man.
She's and people don't know she does everything. She writes the deck, she produces, she acts. You know what I'm saying? She's super smart, helping on. She was truly my partner.
Beast,
yeah,
yo.
The kids too, man. Like it's like we were talking about how Shonda Rhimes writes. It's levels to this. You can't be a bootleg actor and do some of these things and master the timing and the delivery. And we see that in this show. It's the same thing. Like that's what makes it work. That synergy. Yeah,
the kids on this show are incredible, and they do something very, very, very special because they are able to sort of hold their own in a sort of free-form environment, and that is really hard to do. That is really hard to do. And they all, are special actors. Acting actors are special people. That's why I would never jump into anything outside of playing myself because I know how hard it is and I have too much respect for it.
No doubt. Like, who's to tell you, like, yo, Kenya, can you redo that line?
No, it's crazy. I made a point to have a playback, which I would say anyone who's getting new and I did something with Will one time, and he stopped in the middle of the scene. He was like, they call cut. He was like, can you play it back? And I was like, I didn't know what he was doing. And he walked back, and he saw himself doing what he was doing, and he was like, okay. And I realized at that point, if I ever do this, I need that. So, like, even though people were getting mad, I would stop the scene, or when the scene was over, I'd go and I'd watch myself back, and I'd realize what I did wrong or which way I was turned and things like that. So I think it really, really, really helps, and you're not used to seeing yourself in that situation. I would watch everything, 2 or 3 times.
Okay. We got Monique on the line from Cleveland. Monique, good morning. How you doing?
Hey, Mo.
I'm good.
Okay.
Hi everyone. Like I listen
What's
to
up,
your
Hey, Mo.
I don't know why people criticize that show. I love it. I think I've probably watched the whole thing like 5 times already. And my favorite my favorite episode is when you're at that concert. Like that when Rashida
they got high.
Yes. Oh, that episode is so funny to me. So
that really happened to us in some aspects. That really happened to me at Coachella with my daughter. But thank you.
Yeah. So
wow.
I'm looking forward to hopefully a season 2 as well.
I appreciate that. Well, I would when I do it, like, please check back in and we'll call back in when I get back on Sway again and let me know how you like it.
I will. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Everyone have a nice day.
You too. You're a citizen, Monique.
A Sway in the morning, Mo.
Thank you.
You know, before I let you go, Kenya, I'm just hogging your time now. I would be remiss if I didn't let Mike Muse, who's about to do our political news, get a chance to just say hi to you at the very least. Mike Muse, you there?
Yo, what's happening, man? How are you?
What up, Mike? How are you?
Good. Thanks for letting me come in, man. I'm a huge fan of yours, and ever since BlackAF has come out, I've been getting a lot of questions about your show because it sits at the intersection of my work, which is like social construct through the lens of pop culture. And all the dichotomies and nuances of things that you're breaking down in this show are so needed. And it holds up a great mirror to reflect our society and our culture and how we view ourselves, right? And I love how the show is just wrestling with those narratives, even if you don't land on the answer, because we just don't, no answer is uniform for any family, any Black individual.
That's correct.
So salute to you, man.
Thank you so much, dog. I really appreciate that.
Yo, so when the quarantine is over, man, we'd love to have you in the studio. Kenya,
I can't. I'm there. We had a planned stop there. Me and Rashida did, and it everything jammed up right before it left. So we have to do it.
Well, tell Rashida we love what she's doing. And
she's dope.
She's killing it, and love what you're doing, brother. And keep us thinking, and know that you got allies in this. So
I appreciate it. I'm super proud of you. How long has this been going on now?
Man, since 2011, man. And we thought, yeah, bro. And we just wanted to raise the level, the consciousness, the frequency of conversations we've been having, and it's been successful. And we've seen a lot of folks around us who are now adapted that same mentality. So we're having great conversation. But that's why I want you to know. You have allies, so if you need to make a call, know that we here. I'll shoot you a text, okay?
Okay, please do that, Sway. And bring me back on for the 10th anniversary. I would love that.
Absolutely. Ooh, damn, there you go. Kenya Barris, ladies and gentlemen. Black as fuck. Watch it on Netflix. All right, take care, man. Man,
appreciate you.
Appreciate you too, man. Oh, man.